Bootstrap related models. How to work with Bootstrap models. Today, some more other important options for Bootstrap. Let's take a look about them. Yeah. Generally, what are the other Bootstrap options to understand? So yesterday we discussed about how to work with these models and how to use these models. So technically, what is the purpose of models and how to use them? Generally, we use these all in JavaScript and jQuery like designs. We can create them and use them, right? Next, how to handle navigation. So usually to carry out navigation, to design navigation, simple options are there. So we have Bootstrap navigation. We have basic navigation. So basic navigation can be defined by using options like what are the basic navigation related options. So we have simple classes like nav. We have like nav item. We have like nav link. So these are simple nav related options. We can design a simple navigation by using these options. Generally, these are enough for creating navigation. Additionally, we can add like nav tabs, and we can add like nav pills. Nav tabs and nav pills are also used for navigation, along with options like nav fill. So let's see one simple option how we can use. We can control the alignments also by using nav justified. It is used for controlling the alignments. How we can define, right? Yeah. Let's see one simple example for that. How to design and how do we work with the simple navigation here. So we can add some dynamic navigation also. Dynamic navigation can be defined by using the options like, we can use the options like JavaScript. I told you tab contents yesterday. So by using tab content and a tab combination, we can create a simple navigation. Right? Let's see how to design. We can apply on navs. So we can change the alignments and we can display as per our requirement. Let's see one simple example of how we can use these navigations. How we can design this navigation. Simple. Like what we are doing is, Let's take a new file, nav.html, and let's include the files. So in head section, so we have link, relation, style sheet, and href, node modules, bootstrap, this css, bootstrap.css. And we will link script source is equal to node modules in that jQuery, this jQuery.js, and script source is equal to, so node modules in that bootstrap dist js bootstrap bundle.js. Okay, these are the basic options in the head section. Okay, in the body we are designing some div class as container. Okay, and I will keep a heading as some web technologies. Okay, or we can even design like tabular contents here. So I will just keep an option here is, yeah, product details. So we are having this product details header. Okay, usually under this we need to display some details of the product, and in order to display the details of the product, here I am designing an unordered list. In the unordered list we will define list items. So I will keep an anchor. Okay, so this one will be, this anchor will be, list item will be using anchor, and this is like suppose price info, or say basic info, basic details. Okay, another list item anchor, here we are defining as preview. Okay, another list item here we are displaying as some features. So features and more information about it, some options I have defined. Basic details, preview, features we have designed in this way. Now usually it will display in this way. Basic details, preview, features, it will be like this. Now what we are doing is, we want this unordered list as navigation. Then we will use a class called nav. The items inside this are defined with class as nav item. The link is defined as nav link. Second item with the class nav item, and the links will have the class nav link. And here the class as nav item, and features we will define class as nav link. Okay, now you can see the appearance will be like this. So the basic details, the preview and features, just they are displayed in a simple way. Now I want like a tab form. I want like a tab form, tabs. So then I will just design here. So now as here I will define as now tabs here, tabs here. It will get a tabular form like this. So it is having a tab form like this. And that is the tab form like this. So we are adding a basic tab form for that. So under that, so I am defining the details, right? So these are links. Link need href to define. We will design the href. How to create the href, we will see that. For them, we need to prepare details. Then under this navigation, under this nav bar, I will put div. And the div will use, like yesterday, we will use tab content. Tab content. ID is product tabs, tab content. That is the ID, product tab content. Okay. In that we are having a div, first div. That class we are giving as tab pan. Tab content will have tab pans. And the effect we are giving fade. And by default show. And by default active. That means the first panel will be active. And that first pan will have an ID. ID is, this is details. Details is an ID. Okay, first is details. We are defining an ID. And what is the role here? So the role is tab panel. It is a tab panel. It is a tab panel. Yeah, that's it. And inside the div, so we are adding a data list, data term. Here I will say name and data definition. Here I will say some details like some earpods, suppose JBL, so speaker, something like this. And another data term. Here I defined price. I will define data definition, some price. Okay. So here ampersand hash 8377 semicolon like this. Okay, that is the price we have defined. Next, another data term. So manufactured. So data definition. Suppose 20 March. So some 2020 like this. These are the details in one tab pan. Second tab pan. So this is tab pan finish, another one. So we will use another class as tab pan. And it is also fade. And it is having same, the ID and role. So ID I will define as preview. So that is the ID defined for it. First one ID is details, and role is tab panel. So here we are defining role is equal to tab panel. Now in this I am defining an image. SRC is equal to, so it is images JBL speaker.jpg, width some 200, height 200. That is the image we have defined. Okay. Next, we are designing another div. This is class. This is also tab pan, and this is also fade. Okay. And we have an ID. This is features and role as tab panel. Okay. Inside this, we will keep some paragraph of information. We are keeping some paragraph of information. Some points or paragraphs of information can be kept there. All right. So here the points and paragraphs of information kept here. Okay. Now that is the tab panel is defined here. This is the content here. Name, preview, like features. By default, name, basic details are there. By default, basic details are present here. Basic details are displayed here. So the basic details can show these options. And important, what should happen is, now I want this clickable. I want this clickable. That means when user clicks on the basic details, then you know how to handle that. We have to use data toggle. Data toggle, it should toggle the tab. Okay, it should toggle the tab. And href is equal to hash, that is it has to go to details. Details is one tab. Second, data toggle is tab. This href, it should be for preview. Preview is second panel. And here another link, nav link. We have to write for nav link. I am writing for nav link. Okay. So for nav link, we have to define data toggle. Okay, here also data toggle, but href, it should navigate to features. It should navigate to features. That's how we are defining the navigation options there. Navigation options. We are defining navigation options. And I will save this. And we can make any one option by default active. That means I want first nav item, nav link. So this nav link as active. I can give that active like that. Then you can see it will be like this. Now you can see there is a tab like appearance for that. There is a tab like appearance for that. Now I click on preview. I click on preview features. You see tab like appearance will come. So I click on preview. Then it should show the preview of that product. I click on features. Then it should get me the features and show. So I click on preview. I click on basic details. So you can switch between those details and we can display all the three information here. The basic details, the preview, the features will be displayed here. Now tab content, how you want to show that your wish, right? So you can keep background color, foreground colors, navigations also. So nav tabs. That means when I am clicking on the basic details, so basic details will come. Preview, it will show the preview. Features, it will get me the features, right? I can switch between, so this and display this information, right? So this is generally basically used option for navigation. Here options are very simple. We created a tab list with the tab panels, tab content with the tab pan. And when user clicks, that particular pan will execute. When user clicks, that particular pan will execute. That means that particular pan will come. And in the navigation, we use nav, nav item, nav link, nav tabs. Actually, nav fill, nav justified action. These are for alignments actually. So for example, I will show you some more options like suppose, so I am defining here nav tabs. So when we are creating nav tabs, so instead of nav tabs, I'm defining as here, instead of nav tabs, I can use nav pills. Nav pills. Nav pills will display like this. Buttons will come. That means preview is a button, features is a button, preview is a button, basic details is a button. Pills will give a button like appearance for that. Button like appearance for that, right? So if we want to use the nav pills, we have to use a button like appearance here and configure the button like appearance. That you can do by using nav pills, right? And we can change its alignments. We can keep left side, we can keep right side. Already we learned keeping left and right side. We discussed about how to use the options, right? So columnar contents you can keep anywhere you want according to your requirement. So this is a simple option of designing the tabs. Alignment is nothing but generally, if only 2-3 contents you are keeping, then placing alignments in a correct way also important. Usually what we can do is we can make justify nav justified. Suppose I said here we are adding nav justified. Justified will adjust the width according to the contents. That's it. That is important. According to means it will adjust to the page. Now justified will adjust to the page. All right. So now justified, we can use now fill also. Now justified and now fill are the options. Usually instead of now justified, we are using now fill. Fill. So now fill is also defined. Fill, what happens is if there are more options, then it will keep the existing means rest of the options to next line. 2-3 lines will come. Justified means we'll keep everything in one. So now fill, or we can use now justified. Justified will keep everything in one place, right? That we can do. So otherwise we can simply keep this normal. I am removing this also. I will keep now tabs, and the tabs will be like this. In now tabs we are using now justified like option, then tabs will be larger. Basic details, preview, features we can display. According to the number of items inside the navigation, it will adjust them. So this is a general option which is commonly used for navigation. But more than this, we have special navigation toolbars. We can create navigation toolbars. By using navigation toolbars, we can create more responsive navigation. Let's see how we can create more responsive navigation. So this is just simply inline documentation. That means inside the page, if you want to show such details, we use this option. But usually you see websites. For websites, we have to design a navigation bar. So the example for this is an example. This is an example for that Bootstrap navigation, basic navigation. We have another option. So that is a responsive navigation bar. Responsive navigation bar will have some options like nav bar. We have nav bar class. So we have a nav bar expand. So we have navbar expand with options like small, with option like medium, so large, XL, so extra large, all these options are available. Another option is usually we keep all that navigation. So generally, technically, now navigation is designed by using nav element. So it must have the role as a navigation. That is important. It must have the role as navigation. And the classes are, so we can use these classes. And what we can define is we can have a nav bar brand. We can have a nav, and we can have a navbar toggler. We can have so navbar text. So we can have navbar collapse. We can apply all these according to the situation. What is a navbar expand? How to use navbar? We will see one simple example for that. So how to design the navbar by using options. So generally, what are these togglers and how to use these togglers? You need to understand actually. Let's see one simple option. Navbar toggler, and we will have a navbar toggler icon. Navbar toggler icon also will be there. So what is this and how to use it? Just we will see that. And generally for items inside navigation, so you can use nav item, you can use nav link, so we can use nav text. So these are general options we can use everywhere, right? So we can define these everywhere. Let's see how we can create a navigation bar. And we can add even additional jQuery effect for this navigation bar. jQuery effect also can be added to the navigation bar, right? So let's see how we can do that, how we can configure and how we can design. Important is it is a responsive navigation. Responsive navigation means it should change according to the browser. Let's see how we can design this. And here, what is navbar brand, navbar toggler? This is also important to understand, right? Actually, when we design navigation bars, usually navigation bar will be like this. That is the navigation bar, and it will have some title like some Naresh IT like this. And if width is not enough to show all the items, you see generally what happens is, so right side a icon comes like this, and you click on the icon, the items will open. Here we have to use combination of collapse and other options also. Usually this is called, so this is actually called as, we generally call that as, so that is called as, we usually call this as navbar. This is navbar brand. That is the navbar brand. That is the Titles usually we keep as navbar brand, and this is actually this is called as a navbar toggler. This is called navbar toggler, and that icon is called navbar toggler icon. So toggler is a button, right? Toggler have a button and button have an icon. It is a button with the icon. So, and under that navigation you can create some options for collapse and display. Let's see how to design that, how we can design this. So let's see here, navbar, our options are those actually technically. Let's see how to add these effects. For this you need all these three options in the head section. I will go to this and I will create a navigation bar. Okay, let's keep this. So in the head section you have all of them. In the body, so in the body section I am directly designing a class as so body class as container, fluid, fluid is container. Okay, now here I have to design a navigation area. Then we will use nav is for navigation. And how to define navigation? You can add a class as navbar. Okay, and navbar should have automatically expand and collapse according to browser. Then we use navbar expand. We use navbar expand. And if I want large, I can use LG, navbar expand LG. And color we can define as navbar light. Navbar light is a color, and background color BG light. I am applying background light color. That is for navbar background color. Usually when I run this, initially the options are nothing, empty. Why? Because there is nothing inside it actually. Now inside that I want to define title, then anchor. So we will use a class. So we will define as navbar brand, and we will give the name as some Naresh I technologies. And href we will define as empty hash. So you can see that is here defined. We have a light, BG light. Actually, suppose if I define as a BG dark, and you can see that is background dark, and text white. You can see the text white will be displayed. For the content we need to define text, because it is a link na, it is not going to affect with general text white. For links you know what to do. So because for a link we know that we will define style as anchor :link, and we will define as color as white. Okay, so that is because it is a link should have that option, and visited links also. So that means anchor, so visited also we have to define that link. That means color, all options we know. Active links we have to define that, combinations we have to add. All right, so you can use any combination for that. Here navbar has only one basic color appearance. We can apply that appearance for that. Now important is this background dark, background light. To keep the icons correctly, I will keep that here. Okay. To keep the icons correctly. So after showing the icon, we can change the color. Fine. Now here, after defining this nav bar brand, now what we are doing is we are displaying an icon for that. So that means we will keep a button. This button will have a class, called nav bar toggler. That button will have a class called nav bar toggler, and the type is equal to button. Okay, and it should have navigation also. That is not yet ready. We will give that. Navigation also. Inside the button, we just want a span. Span should have a class called nav bar toggler icon. It should have a nav bar toggler icon. That means you can see that. Now you can see here it is having a toggler icon will be displayed there. Yeah. The toggler icon colors I will change, I will remove. Later we will keep that. Right. Now toggler icon, in order to display, we need some items inside that actually. So we have button and nav bar toggler options. You need some items inside that. And we need to keep some items for that icon, right? Then we design nav bar navigation. So here under the button, we will keep a div. Div will use a class. We have a collapse. We will use collapse class. And it is nav bar collapse. Collapse is to show and hide. We know that. And we will keep an ID as menu items. Menu items is an ID for it. Okay. Inside the div, we will create an unordered list. So we will have a class as nav bar navigation. Usually we have an ordinary nav. In that we have nav bar navigation. Okay. In that nav bar navigation, we have li list item. This list item will have a class called nav item. Okay. And by default, I want that nav item as active. That is the first item. In that we have anchor class is nav link. We have to keep a nav link. And the href is equal to hash initially. And here I define as home. That is the basic option. Fine. I have to add others also. That means another list item, and we remove active for this. And here we are defining as about, and another list item. Here we are defining as some faculty courses. Another list item we are defining as contact. Right. So these are the basic options defined. Now important, these are all the items inside the nav bar. And as of now, we designed them as collapse. If you design them as collapse, and what is the ID for that collapse? Menu items. So on this button click, that collapse should work. On button click, that collapse should toggle. Then you know what to do. So here what we have to do here is how to make that toggle. We have to use data toggle. It has to toggle collapse. And data target, data target is that navigation bar. So for that we have hash, we call that as menu items, menu items. So target will be for this collapse. On button click, it will be for that collapse. So it need to define the navigation bar with that collapse option. And here you can see that is the navigation here. Observe carefully, we have home, about, courses, contact options available. But here, these are all links and options available. Observe carefully, currently screen width is enough to show all of them. Suppose I am going on to mobile like device. I am going on to mobile like device. F12 debugger will come. In the debugger, I will select responsive, general responsive design. In the responsive design, you can observe carefully here. Current the width is normal. So we have to see the responsive design. Current it is normal, so there is nothing special here. Now what happens is when I am adjusting the width, you can see a bar will come here. A bar will come here. When I am adjusting that, a bar will come here. A bar will come and display here. It will come and display here. So that means we are defining a toggler. So nav bar here. So a nav bar comes there. It depends on where you keep the nav bar. So it's depend on your requirement. Toggler, let it make it more better here. So suppose see, I will close it. So here, as of now, I will change this as nav bar BG dark. I defined as dark, then it will be like this. Those colors we can change here. So, or some BG, some primary. So it will be like this. So here we have warning. Okay. So I'm keeping it more simplified to understand. Observe carefully. When I'm changing the zoom, you can see that when I'm changing the zoom, now you can see a nav bar comes here. Icon comes here. And I click on that icon, it will open these menu options. It will open those menu options. And I click on that icon again, it will collapse. I click on that, the menu will open and it will be collapsed. And observe carefully. Suppose I am adjusting the zoom levels again. If it is fit, then that icon will go off. It will not be there. And automatically all the menus will appear. That means that nav bar toggler icon, nav bar toggler icon is going to display when our screen is adjusted for mobile. When screen is adjusted for mobile, on mobile you will see that nav bar toggler. I click nav bar toggler will open. You can select the options here. And again click, it will be hidden. And when you are watching on a desktop like devices, then screen width is adjusted. Then automatically the menus will come and the menus will display. Directly you can use these menus here. Of course, we haven't written anything for that. Adjust the width, then it will automatically get you the toggler icon and display the togglers. Right. That means we are creating a responsive navigation toggler. So that we can design by using the nav. In the navigation bar, you can keep anything. Drop downs, buttons, anything you can define. So actually nav bars have different effects to display. Usually, so nav bar light, I'm using nav bar dark. So nav bar dark, and I am defining as BG dark. So we are adding nav bar dark, BG dark. and it will display like this. You give by default, those effects will come, right? When I am adjusting, you can see it will display those options there. So we can define various colors and effects for that navigation. As I told you, we can give primary, we can give light, we can add custom styles also. We can add custom styles also. We can put our own background colors and combinations for that. That's depending on your requirement, right? So whenever we are designing the navigation bar, that is important, right? So how we can place the nav bar and the nav brand? Usually we can use fixed positions, we can use sticky positions, we can use the bottom positions, right? For that, we have to use another example. There I can keep some contents there and display the contents. We can keep and display the contents. If we keep and display the contents, obviously its performance and appearance, you can clearly see that. Right? So generally we kept here, this is the navbar brand. That is the navbar brand, right? And the button is the toggler here. We are having the toggler here. And you can see, you can keep it left side. I am adjusting, it will keep automatically left side will come. I click here, it will open that options and display. So where you keep the placements your wish. That means the button can be top, that means it can be left, and your brand can be displayed to the right, towards the right. We can even add logos, we can keep the logos there, right? So this is very popularly used navigation technique, and which is used to make the navigation more responsive. And we can add additional effects also. Additional effects are used for along with content. So that means, for example, you remembered we learned about position fixed, we learned about position sticky like options, right? Generally under the navigation, suppose we have another div, and here we have some contents to display. So usually we have some content to display, like some paragraphs of information to display. I will copy some paragraphs information to display. That means other contents. Okay. Generally what happens is, when you are keeping so many contents and the navigation bar, it will be keep on moving the contents. Now you can see lot of content is there, and the navigation bar also moves, right? Of course, you know how to handle that positions. Actually, we also have a combinations like suppose for the navigation bar. So Bootstrap has some position related attributes, but for that we need to add correct design. So see here, the nav bar we designed, it can be kept as fixed top, can be kept as fixed top. That means it is kept as fixed top. And when I scroll, you can see rest of the content will scroll. It can be kept as fixed top. So the nav bar will keep at the top, the contents will scroll, the options will display here. When I am changing the zoom, the icons will come here and the content will be displayed. Of course, the content that you are showing below here, you can keep the margin for that. Like we can keep a style as a margin top as suppose some 20 pixel, 30 pixel margin top. It will keep the content in a correct way. You keep more options, right? But you have several other options. How do we define? You can keep a section, you can keep the margin, and one more option is you can make this as a sticky. So instead of fixed top, you can make it as sticky. That means we can say sticky top. We have a sticky top option also available. We can keep sticky top. But in order to design sticky and these options, I told you we need to keep our content in a correct way. This is also sticky. And sticky means, it should have some margin first. It should have some margin. And the bottom also, what you can do is, here you given top margin, and here we can keep position as fixed, or you can say position as fixed, or you can add even options like display, overflow, right? Overflow with the scroll. All these options, the traditional combinations we have to use them, right? So we need combination of all of them. So position fixed, I will remove. Overflow as scroll, I have defined. That means it can allow to overflow the contents. Of course, all these options that we know already. Only the point here is how to keep in correct contents. No need to worry about that. We will design one example for that. Only the concept I am showing is, here we can use a sticky toolbar. We can define a fixed toolbar. So navigation bar can be defined with fixed top. It can be defined with the fixed bottom. So, and it can be defined with sticky top like options. So these are all the classes that you can use to keep in a perfect way. So this is very important, and this is very regular in all the websites. Majority you can see this type of navigation will come. So making general navigation tab based, we have nav, and responsive navigation, we have to use all these options. This makes a responsive navigation for that, right? And we have to use a combination, means just toolbar will come, that's it. It doesn't mean that it will work with menu like toggler. For this menu like toggler, we have to use collapse. Through collapse on button click, we have to make it open, make it close, right? Combination of what we learned till now, we have to use for this navigation. So this is a nav bar. And after understanding the nav bar, we have few more options that we will see tomorrow. So tomorrow, other options. Then tomorrow we will finish this bootstrap concept. Then we can go into, right, how to work with JavaScript, jQuery. These are the things we need to understand. With JavaScript, while using JavaScript, we will utilize all these options, whatever we learned in Bootstrap in HTML. So 2-3 more topics are there in Bootstrap. We will finish them. So by tomorrow, we will finish our Bootstrap. Then we can start working with JavaScript. After finishing the concept, I will give you some exercise to practice. You need to design those exercises. Once you are perfect, then we can move to JavaScript. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue then.